What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button, join Ninja Nation, the best baseball community on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Jordan Montgomery, who had 8 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, relying on his fastballs and his changeups. His ERA this year, 3.29. Next up is Ranger Suarez, who had these curveballs, changeups, and fastballs, and this sword on his way to 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up no runs. Ranger was up against Nick Lodolo, who was also really good. Lodolo had 8 Ks in 7 innings, also giving up no runs, and he dominated with his sick breaking ball. Here's an overlay of that breaking ball with his fastball, and you can see what hitters deal with. They start in the same plane, and that breaking ball just keeps going. Opponents are only hitting 180 with a 46% whiff rate against that breaking ball. I asked Nick Lodolo for his grip, and here it is. Rich Hill, aka Dick Mountain, had these wicked curveballs, and I love how he messes not only with arm angles, but also with his mechanics. You can see him pause his leg in his delivery here, which throws a hitter off. Dick Mountain ended up with 4 Ks in 5 innings. Drew Smiley had 4 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, thanks to these knuckle curves. Framber Valdez was solid with 6 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up only 2 hits. He had these filthy curveballs and this 90-mile-an-hour changeup. Domingo Germán had some wicked breaking balls. He had 6 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings. And I got asked, why would you swing at that breaking ball off the plate that was never a strike? Well, here's an overlay with Germán's 2-seamer, and since it's really tough to pick up the spin on these pitches, you can see what happens if you guess that it's a 2-seamer coming. You may be swinging at a breaking ball way off the plate. When a hitter swings at a bad pitch, always look for the reason why. It's just not helpful to yell, "Why did you swing at that?" Because they're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game, and you're sitting on your couch. Corey Kluber had 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, and relied on his breaking balls, cutters, and his fastball. An excellent outing for the Klubot. Tony Gonsolin used his splitters and his sliders on his way to 8 strikeouts in 7 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits. He lowered his ERA this year to 2.12. He outdueled Eric Lauer, who is also really good. Lauer had 7 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, and had his mix of sliders, cutters, and fastballs. Rookie George Kirby had 7 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings and had these nasty 2-seamers. He outdueled Touki Toussaint, who struggled, giving up 4 runs in 2 2/3 innings, but did have these pretty curveballs, and I love Touki's curveball. Ross Stripling was absolutely dominant. In fact, he took a perfect game into the 7th inning. And you can see no one was talking to poor Ross. Pitching can be a lonely place, especially when you're in the middle of a perfect game. The pitch that jumped out at me for Stripling that was working really well was his changeup. And it's a very unusual changeup in that it's the highest release changeup in the major leagues. The league average for a changeup release is around 5.8 feet. This one is 7 feet. So when you see it drop, it's really like dropping off a cliff. And if you look here, you can see Stripling's changeup grip. Stripling outdueled Austin Voth, who had 3 Ks in 6 innings and had this nasty cutter. Max Scherzer had 8 strikeouts and tied Pedro Martinez on the all-time strikeout list, thanks to his cutters, sliders, and fastballs. And you might ask why Rosario swung at this high fastball way out of the zone. Well, you can see here, if you extend the strike zone upwards by a lot, that pitch was actually painted. Okay, maybe not. This game was delayed by rain midway through Max's outing, so I did a comparison of Max's outward look versus what was going on in his brain. You know, in his mind, he was going full college Brady Singer. My filthiest starter of the night? That was Carlos Rodon. Rodon had 11 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 2 hits and 1 earned run, thanks to his fastballs and these vicious sliders. He is now 3rd in the major league in strikeouts at 179 behind Corbin Burns and Garrett Cole, and opponents have a 39.5% whiff rate against Rodon's slider. Now on to my filthiest relievers. James Karinchak K'd the side with his fastball and this vicious curveball. And most amazingly, he didn't lose his mind after these Ks. He just walked off the field. Keep him guessing, Karinchak. Ryan Brazier K'd the side with this. Hirokazu Sawamura had this nasty splitter. Sir Anthony Dominguez had this filthy 91-mile-an-hour slider. Cue the trombones. Alexis Diaz had this wicked slider and his fastball. Cue the trumpets. Edwin Diaz had this White Castle special, and I did this overlay of his 101-mile-an-hour fastball and a 93-mile-an-hour slider, and you can see what makes this combination so tough. They look the same, and you end up swinging over that slider. Yohan Duran showcased his fastball, splitter, and breaking balls. Ryan Presley had his buzzsaw curveballs. This one that was put in play was 3,498 RPMs, almost 3,500 RPMs on that, and he got a K on a 3,332 RPM curveball. But my filthiest reliever yesterday was Matt Brash. Brash K'd the side with this absolutely disgusting stuff. Both his slider and his knuckle curve were over 3,100 RPMs. Ben Joyce pitched yesterday. Yep, the volunteer fireman out of Tennessee is now in the minor leagues. And yep, he's still throwing flames with his 100 and 101 mile an hour fastballs. No, there was no 105 yesterday. And also this wicked breaking ball. We will be seeing him in the major leagues soon, hopefully, because everybody loves flamethrowers. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. You might remember Trey Turner had the smoothest slide in Major League history. Well, this was not that.
Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy crap! Holy...
And yes, he did end up with a broken arm. What's up, Ninja Nation? I'm really excited to bring you my picks of the day today because it's the first Pitching Ninja Thursdays promo. What are Thursdays, you ask? If you bet a same game parlay with 3 legs or more and put down $25 or more, you get back $1 for every strikeout in that game. There are other rules for this Thursdays promo on the FanDuel site, so make sure you check them out before placing the bet, but I gave you the general idea. So with all that in mind, here's my Thursdays parlay of the day. I am going to take Jacob deGrom for 10 Ks or more, Max Fried for 6 Ks or more, and I'm going to pick the game to be tied after the first inning, hopefully at 0-0. And I'm rooting for Fried and deGrom to have a ton of strikeouts because, number one, I'm Pitching Ninja and that's what I do. And number two, if they get a ton of strikeouts, we're basically betting with house money. How cool is that? So what would your Thursdays parlay be? Let me know.